Shut it. Anyway, Big Man Gear. That's me. Big Man Gear is the big man. That's me. Idea of a funny merch brand. It is every corny dad joke, and that is true. Meme on t-shirts for sale on Amazon Prime, so that they'll print it for you and all that. Currently, you can buy the unapproved Idiots versus Idiots logo t-shirt that Danny absolutely hates, which is
That's true.
probably part of why I 100% love it to death.
Yeah.
Because that is the
This
case.
logo was created before our third round of negotiations, and our attorneys, we settled on the big man is going to be the primary shareholder at 51%, but I'm 100% in charge of branding. Even though I keep telling him that we have all the stuff that isn't correct to our style book, and I've emailed him our style book several times, he refuses to conform some of our branding to the style book, even though we brought in attorneys, and at a hefty cost to the both of us, we ironed all of this out.
I don't care.
Well, the offices of Rothstein, and Berg will be in contact with you.
This is Texas, baby. It's only enforceable in court.
That's so true. So, keeping with the theme of the power of memes that rhymed,
Yes.
Van Eck is starting a new ETF. Has started. If you're watching this, it's already here.
Yep.
Okay? Didn't perform so well on its first day, but that's fine. So Dave Portnoy, El Prez of Barstool Sports is, I don't know what his formal role is, but he's certainly he's pumping it, certainly talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's called the Buzz ETF, but from Van Eck. Now, here's what's interesting about it.
His ticker symbol is BUZZ, Buzz.
Right.
That's his ticker symbol, yes.
Well, since you wanted to jump in here and interrupt, oops, because I was talking, why don't you explain, big man?
What, you want me to explain exactly? Look, so this is, Danny said, in the, what, somebody called it, is it the meme, not the meme economy, but the meme, what's the name of the as it's go, anyway, the point is meme investing. Essentially, the whole point of this is, at any given month, and it's supposed to transition month to month like most funds do, 75 stocks, according to what it's calling Next Gen AI, 75 stocks picked, at least 80% of the fund has to be based on, because how it's set up, 80% of the fund has to be spent money on these 75 most talked about stocks of that month based on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, so all of these things.
What it's going to do is the AI is going to scrape social media.
Right.
It's going to look. It's whatever stocks are buzzing, and it's going to buy them. Now, we have thought, historically, looked at memes as they're just this funny thing. But they have become this means of creating and exploring thought-provoking content, and people create memes that change lives. And hey, guess what? People are now going to make memes that make money.
Well, it's piggybacking on, obviously, the GameStop, the AMC, yes, right? That kind of stuff. I even sent you an article last week that was talking about how CCIV, the company that's merging with Lucid, right? Yep. You know what I mean? That became kind of a thing because it was being shorted. This is it's piggybacking on the sentiment of the retail investor, your normal, average, everyday Joe, against the man, right? Against Wall Street, against the big companies out there. And how do you do that? It's the same way they did it with GameStop. You finally had enough people behind you, right, to get behind it. And if you get a ETF, in this case, a fund that you can then leverage. Here's why I don't know that it will last, and here's why.
And some of my research, but let me interrupt you there.
Go ahead.
Because who really cares what you think? This is not the first time Van Eck Vectors. Yeah, well, you know, what can you do? Listen, I'm the one with the most hair. I'm the most handsome, most intelligent. I am carrying this podcast on my back, and I don't feel like I get enough gratitude.
The guy that says that is definitely not the guy that does it. That's all I'm saying. The guy that has to point it out that he's the most intelligent.
Well, no, I have to point it out because otherwise the listeners don't know. But Van Eck Vectors has tried this once before, and if I remember correctly, it didn't function. But the point is, when you get a guy who has, in the last year, reinvented himself, in a manner of speaking, as a stocks guy. Because he wasn't a stocks guy.
No,
He
it was
was a
not.
sports gambling guy, right?
Podcast guy. Yeah.
And a podcast guys we talked about in the first story today. He basically, pioneered what the strategy that Blue Wire and Win Casino are doing. He pioneered that strategy of podcasting network together with gambling. And because of 2020 and the circumstances of 2020, pioneered this new path of being stocks guy.
Well, which is, by the way, the same thing. Like all he did
Okay,
is
but
take
wait,
it.
let me also point this out before you blather on nonsense that no one understands or can comprehend. Um, he, he's the key to making this function. There's something really interesting now about the hedge funds were once playing the other side, the shorting side, and smaller funds like Vanek Vectors go, hey, wait, if we have the public on our side,
The retail investor.
we have the retail investor on our side, we can be a market maker, right?
And that's why I say, because again, and we can all sit here and talk about how jacked up the current system is and how it really is one-sided, right? To the Wall Street and everything. The problem, but they also have the power. Fun. Yeah, but they also have the power to shut you down when they don't like the things that you're doing, right?
Right.
And this ETF is essentially trying to piggyback on something that they don't like. And it just gives those retail investors that pushed GameStop, that pushed AMC right. or CCIV or any of these others in the last couple of months, it gives them more power because, and here's why. Because you're using AI to scrub, right, to scrape across all of these. How long before some whoever, I don't want to say hacker, but technology expert goes, they already do this, right? On platforms like Reddit or whatever, you already have bots out there trying to discredit certain stories or increase certain stories.
That's right.
I can go on Reddit right now, or I can go on Fiverr right now, hire someone to sit there and do nothing but post on Reddit or Wall Street Bets or any other platform, right, any other subreddit, all day long about whatever I want, good, bad, or otherwise.
And so that is interesting, but as soon as you said that, I thought, well, of course their AI is looking for non-human behavior. I'm assuming, right? I don't know how their AI is calibrated, but I would presume that they factored in somebody attempting to manipulate the market in an attempt to manipulate them.
Yeah. A lot, and I try not to assume almost anything in business. And look, it would be very simple and inexpensive to create there already exist AI bots that find, you know what I mean? Look at Twitter, right? At any given day, I can go on here, this phone right now, and click on what's trending, and it's what's trending right now, right? Yeah. So it already exists,
and
right?
you can change it to geotag, like, hey, what's trending in Cedar Park, Texas?
So obviously they could just be using a basic technology in the beginning. Now you would hope that at some point somebody goes, hey, well, what about manipulation? And somebody at the top or currently involved or in the future goes, I don't give a crap about it, right?
Right.
We said we were going to do the 75 top, you know what I mean, whatever. Right.
So my thought process is, the point is, for the investor that buys into the ETF, what are they looking for? Gains, right?
Right.
And if somebody is out there, if you have the power to shift conversation to a particular stock, that in turn triggers the AI to buy up the stock for the fund, isn't that what the retail investor wanted anyways?
Well, absolutely. And that's exactly what it is. It's making it easier for the retail investor. And you could make the argument that it, quote unquote, should be safer because it is a fund. It's not going to all be in one stock. It's going to obviously be more spread out over different stocks and stuff like that. So it should be, quote unquote, safer. And I say quote unquote because, I mean, it's all gambling to a certain extent. And if you're talking about meme stocks, you're talking about non-fundamentally sound stocks.
Well, yeah, and, I think it's really important to add to that this is idiots versus idiots. This is a program which in the title we admit that not only are we idiots, that he who listens also stupid.
Yeah. Hey, look, our disclaimer is our title, right?
Yeah,
Like
and listen,
this is
the entire purpose of the title is to act as a fervent disclaimer so that when inevitably one of us trips over ourselves and says something silly, we can sit in a deposition, which will be put on YouTube, by the way. I can, and I will go, I don't recall that.
I don't. I misremember. I misremember.
I don't
What?
recall that taking place. Also, our show is called Idiots versus Idiots.
Hello.
Yeah.
But look, but again,
and I can't
learning
wait
is
for
the
that day to
journey.
come.
Learning
Yeah.
is the journey, right? That's part of it.
No,
I know
the
Danny
journey's-
doesn't like the
No.
hug kiss part of this, of where I believe part of this podcast should be people learning about business and marketplace. Danny really doesn't care about you learning
I don't.
anything.
No.
Just give him money.
Yes.
Speaking of that, before we continue with this particular subject, we did start up a Buy Me a Cup of Coffee account, right?
Yes,
Danny will
we
put
did.
that link down. So you can buy us a cup of coffee. Please donate if you feel like you should. Buy Danny a cup of coffee. He definitely needs it. He gets nice and sleepy, and you know
That's
what I mean?
so true. I do.
I
I take these special gummies, and they make me go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Yeah.
do. But again, I think this is, like I said, piggybacking off of that. I don't blame them. It will make them a lot of money. The Dave Portnoy thing, the point I was going to make about him is he had the money to stick into an account that really was people still watching him entertain, right? That was,
Well,
he made more money than he probably invested or
Right.
lost, and he lost a bundle, right? And people paid to watch him lose a bundle. And by paid, I mean views, right? Patreon, all this kind of. I would love to see.
I don't think he has a Patreon.
Well, but however he monetizes his things, right?
Right.
Whether it's through merchandising or whatever, advertising, whatever.
Yeah, he's huge into merch, and he started the program DDG, Davy Day Trader Global, and that again a complete meme that we all watched. I mean, but he was trading in the like millions of dollars.
Well, because that's what people were paying to see, right?
Yes.
He created another form of entertainment. If he made money, that was great as far as the stock, but I would be interested to see his 2020, not taxes, but revenue, right? I would think he probably made more on however he monetizes it, right? Through the different ways he does. I guarantee you he made more than he made in stock or lost in stock.
Listen, let's assume if I was him, I'd want to lose on the stock so I don't pay tax, but make money on the make money
and
on
make
the merch.
money on the newsletters and the you know what I mean, and
all
that.
He doesn't do newsletters. You have no idea who this guy is apparently, because you have been saying things that correlate nothing to Dave Portnoy, but
part of Barstool Sports.
Yeah, I know, but
again,
you said
started
newsletters.
as
you said Patreon.
No, newsletters and Patreon only in the form of however he monetizes it. And
Just
newsletters, what you're talking about the abbreviation you spoke of is just a stock tip newsletter that goes through email and text chain. It's still a newsletter.
Doesn't do that. I don't
yeah,
think
he
does.
does. He 100% does.
Don't think so.
All right, I'm gonna have to prove Danny wrong, but I won't take up y'all's time. I won't take up y'all's time to do that. But go ahead, Danny.
No, I'm just saying I don't think he does that. That's all. But I think this is overall. I absolutely put some money in my brokerage account with the intention of buying it. So.
No, and I'll buy it just to say that I'm in. Look, I same. All these talking heads on radio and TV here recently about, Dogecoin and, NFTs and some of these different things that we may talk about in the future. All these talking heads going, well, I bought Tim Dillon, right, on his, and when he was in Cleveland a couple of days, was talking about how he bought GameStop stock at like $300 a share, and then everybody bailed on him, and he lost like $1,800 or whatever. And it's like, and he's up here complaining. All of these people are sitting here using these things as talking points right now, right, of this kind of stuff. How long does it last? How long can people continue to make money off of it? Who knows? We're all idiots, but I think it is I think it's an interesting thing. So I will definitely be buying some of it just to say that I do, so that I can continue to talk about it.
Right.
But as far as it existing long term or making any real money, you know what? I hope it does. I have no problem with your average Joe that's working their butt off all day, every day, making some money, making a good story for the grandkids. I bought 1,000,000 shares of Buzz, you know what I mean, back in the day, and that's how
Yeah.
grandma and grandpa can live on this,
All
beautiful
right.
ranch or whatever it is. I got no problem with that story. I got no problem with that story, and I hope it happens for some people.
So there is a DDTG newsletter, but I don't think it is Portnoy, based on what Portnoy is investing in.
Same freaking thing. You pay to get it. You get it. He
But
gets the
he's not.
money.
He's not.
Okay,
No, no,
vindication,
he's no.
folks.
He's not monetizing. He's not the one monetizing it. Other people are putting out a newsletter based on what he's
Just give
investing
me the win, Danny. Just give me the win. You can slice that pie however
in.
you want it. It's still pie, baby. Okay? Everybody's getting a piece.
Well, I don't know if that's how it's going.